Welcome guys again to a new episode of my Sub Garage. Okay, so today we're going to talk about gearboxes, but I also will talk a little bit about the Aero itself, and that comes to a little bit why I published the last video. So for those who follow my Facebook page called My Sub Garage, you will see that all the pictures are there. But usually for YouTube people over here and for the YouTube channel, they don't know about nothing about this project. So I make sure to just grab all the images that I have and put everything in a video for you to understand where the Aero came from, how it is in the moment, and how it will be in the future. Okay, so talking a little bit about the Aero, as you guys all also knows, I told that about a little bit in my last video. The idea was I have the 9000 CD and I would really to get that the car could be on 300 horsepower at the wheel. Unfortunately, after I talked with some Swedes, they told me with the LH G-tronic ECU that the car has originally, the car will never get to those numbers. The other option that could happen is for me to pass to a standalone, but then you start to think if that would be feasible or not. So what I decided, it's in a way for you to be or to reach that, or I would grab a 9000 CS with Trionic 7 or Trionic 5 as well, and just grab all the electronic and put in the CD, or then I would just buy it. Okay, so I remember that a colleague of mine had some cars that he was selling. He was selling a 9000 CD with an airflow kit, and he was selling an Aero. So, and I know that the car had some problems, so I decided to make a call. And I called him and I asked him, like, okay, do you still have the Aero? Yes. Do you want to sell it? Yes, but the car has some problems, so come and check it out and then we will talk about numbers. And then I did. So I went to meet him, and the car was under a garage, full with dust and everything, because the car didn't move a couple of months, years. And then he started the car, and as soon as he started the car, I start to hear a big bang noise around the fourth cylinder. So for me, it was already something that would happen in the connecting rods, the connecting rod bearings, so would be something around there. So I bought the car went home, and then you see the old images, and I start to rip the engine out, and I noticed that the car was pretty bad damage at that time. So they only use water in the car, so where the water would pass have a lot of kind of dirt. You know, when the water is set off for a lots of times, then some pipes were like this, and half of it were completely with dirt on it. So I had to clean everything in the car. The most problem situation is when I start to remove all the parts from the engine block, and when I reach the fourth cylinder, I realized that the connecting rods over there, on the fourth cylinder, the piston didn't want to come out. So I end up to discover that the connecting rod bearings were welded. So as you know, that is with two pieces. So you have the piston, you have the connecting rod, and that is like two half parts that then are attached with bolts and nuts. But the bearings inside welded completely because of lack of lubrication. So when I removed the oil pan, you saw everything that was there. So it was really like a clay and pieces of metal and everything on top. So even on the oil sump, I just washed that and I realized that something big was coming. So when I removed the crankshaft out and I was able to take the connecting rod out and the piston, I really found out that that was a problem. The question is, when I soon realized that I would need a connecting rod, and when I take the crankshaft out, I know that the damage was so big that ended up to be the crankshaft going to the trash as well. But not only that, also when I removed the crankshaft and I removed the piston out, I really found out that the damage was so big that it even affected the engine block. Okay, so what happened? I understand my lack of lubrication, and as that two pieces welded that shouldn't, when I remove the thrusters or the bearings from the crankshaft, I easily realized that the damage passed also to the engine block. So where you put those thrusters or those bearings, where the crankshaft sits, the damage was so big that passed from that and went all the way down to the engine block. So after I take everything out, I realized I would need an engine block, I would need a crankshaft, and I would need a connecting rod for the Aero. So already for the old subs, it's already difficult for you to find some parts, more for an Aero. So I called Oreo, and I called him and I told him, listen, I need a crankshaft, I need a connecting rod for the Aero. And he's saying, we don't have any connecting rods. Like, okay, the car is from 96. How I will do from this point on? You have several on eBay, a new set, you have it over there from other companies, but here in Oreo, we are not producing anymore for that. So I had some friends in the north of the country start to make some phone contacts, and one of them said, like, yes, I have one. I was around the project for the 2.3 liter, but then I will give you the connecting rod. So on that I was good. But I still had the problem of the engine block because I could not repair it. So in the meantime of all this process, the guy that sold me the car called me again because he saw the pictures on the Facebook page. And he asked me, like, Dario, I'm seeing that you have lots of problems with the car. Can I go and see it? And he came over here and he really saw what I was posting was the truth. And he was seeing that the damage was really big. So he told me, like, listen, I have another 9000 CS over there. It's a 2-liter engine, but the engine block is the same. Just go there, and if you have any parts that you would like to bring to fix the Aero, just please bring them. So I went there again, and we take the engine out, and also he was very nice and give me all the other parts that the car was needed, like the airbox filter, like the spoiler, all the plastics underneath the car because we're not there. I brought those as well, and cruise control unit as well. So I brought a lot of those pieces, and I brought the engine. When I arrived here to my house, I put the engine on a stand, removed the crankshaft and everything, and the engine block was impeccable. So excellent. I had a good base to start. So with that, I start to put all the new parts, the engine head, face the engine block, put everything together, original materials, original bearings, every single thing new on this car, and the engine is ready like you saw in the images, just to have the clutch and then take care of the engine bay and go to the place. One thing I would like to give a suggestion for all you guys seeing this channel: please don't do any stage upgrades in the car unless you make sure that your car is completely in good condition. That is an error that I'm seeing for a lots of friends of mine and a lots of people that I know, saying that I have my car have 250,000 kilometers and I'm going to put a stage 5 in the car. My friends, don't cheap on that, because the car will break, and then the problem is the tuners. Sometimes they have so much bad influence, and it's not their fault. Because if you are already in your 70s, and then I give you pills for you to be with all this power, or you start to drink Monster, most probably you will died because you are already 80. Okay? So it's the same with the cars. I would recommend that you would follow the same situation that I'm doing. If you want to put 340 horsepower in the car, open everything, check everything, and then you have like an engine with 0 kilometers, and then you have a good base to start to put power in the car. Okay? Review the turbo, it's expensive, yes, but then you know that you have a solid project. Okay? Otherwise, if you start to put power in the car, a lot of things will start to give up. Can be the turbo, can be the clutch, can be the piston rings, can be all those things. So I would really recommend, in order prior for you to do that, and as we don't have brand new subs, make sure that you do an engine overall prior for you to do the stages in the car. Okay? So where we are at this moment. So today I'm gonna grab the gearbox. I already cleaned this gearbox 3 times. Today is going to be my 4th and hope the last one. And what I did, I've just been draining the gearbox all these days and all these weeks, and I like the gearbox stays like this, then I tilt to another side, just put it up, just make sure that everything comes out, and now I just grab the oil and do that. For the oil, I'm using the mineral oil from GM. It's what we have prior to Saab to give up. This gearbox uses 10W40 mineral. They don't use synthetic oil, so make sure that you use the correct oil. But the nice thing is that you go to a Scandix website and they have the price of liter for €6. I grabbed the same reference and I went to GM over here in Portugal, and they would charge me €20 per bottle. So 6 times 3, 20 times 3, the math is easy to do. So what I've done, I just ordered the oil from Scandix, and I took advantage and I bought some lubricant in order to put in the rubbers for the transmission, because they didn't come with any kind of lubricant over there. So what I've done, I just put the oil here on top, take the drain plug, and just all the way down to the other side. Matter of fact, let me show you, I will show you in the end of the video. That would become a good result, because take a lot of things that was there sitting and take it out. Okay, so what is the plan? The plan is to do this. I also have here a rotary machine that I'm using. I'm using with 3 tips. I'm using with this tip, this one, and I'm using with this one in order to clean really all the edges and everything here, then to paint the gearbox and be in the same condition like I have the engine. Okay, so this is the work that I'm planning to do. I will show you as well all the news and everything. Today I should receive the clutch disc should be coming, receiving tomorrow. I have some news tomorrow. Today I'm also going to pick up my t-shirts for the My Shop Garage. I'm quite excited to see how they came. And also the flywheel, I took him to be surfaced, and also the clutch plate I also took over there just to give a surface as well. When I receive the clutch, the whole package will be together and put over here. Today I will receive also the slave cylinder as well. I will talk with that when I receive it, because that was already at some kind of bad treatments as well. So, and also to let you guys know. So, you have a subscribe button. Please click it over there. I will try to advertise this channel to Subplanet and Subs United for this week. So I plan that everything will be okay from there. Again, if you have any comments, if you want to give any suggestions, just please go ahead. My intention is to share what I know, because if we all share between all of us, we'll have more subs in the world. Okay, so let's keep that. And also, if you want to follow me through my Facebook page, again, My Sub Garage, and everything is good. So I will try to take out now the camera to show you the result over here. So you're gonna see a little bit of blurring and all that around, but also for you guys to, I want really to show you the result. Okay, so if everything goes okay, and there you go. So over there you have my 9.5, and there you go. And over here I would like to show you, I really hope you guys can see this. Okay, here we go. Okay, so as you see, this is, I put the oil in the other side and come all the way down, as you can see. Okay, so I have the plug out. I hope you guys see the plug. But also, you would see the amount of dirt that came out just to do this kind of flush. Okay, so it was a good thing, because now I simply can just close the engine and do just the plugs, and then finish the cleaning, paint, and then just I have the gearbox ready to fit in. Okay, so guys, thank you again for everything, for continue to follow this page. I will try to other future videos, or when I'm painting, I will try to make a live video just for you guys to see that as well. Thank you to follow up the page, and any doubts that I can help, please ask me. I will try and do my best to help you. Have a nice week, and we will see you in the near future. Okay.
Cheers.